a movie has a budget of $200 million and at the box office it brings in $200 million, that movie lost a lot of money. But how do you know what the break-even point of a movie is? How do you know if it made money or lost money? Well, we're not accountants. We're not going to be privy to all the exact financial information these studios have for how much they're actually spending on the movie. So this is only going to be an approximation, but let's go ahead and get into it. The big thing people often neglect when they're looking at box office numbers is the theatrical cut. If you go out and spend $12 at an AMC to see a movie, that studio like Warner Brothers is not getting that $12. Because of course the movie theater itself has to take their cut too to be able to stay in business. Concessions makes up a lot of it, but they're still taking a chunk of that box office fee. In America, when a movie is first released in theaters, the movie theater will take about a 20% cut of the overall ticket sales. Now, after a week or two that the movie's been playing in theaters, the cut for the theater will go up to about 40% of ticket sales. Internationally, movie theaters take a lot larger cuts, usually on average of 60% of the overall box office sales, and in countries like China, they take up to 75% of the overall cut. So using this, let's use One Battle After Another for an example, which has a budget listed of $130 million. Now, of the $70.5 million domestically that this movie brought in, the studio itself, Warner Brothers, is only going to see about $42 million of that. And out of the $202 million internationally that this movie made, Warner Brothers is only going to see about $80 million of that. So the overall profits from box office sales are about $122 million. So you're looking at a $130 million budget, $122 million Warner Brothers take home. You're almost breaking even, right? Well, when you look up the budget of a movie, it's just talking about the production budget to get the movie made. It does not account for marketing material whatsoever. These are just guesstimates, but a general rule of thumb is about whatever the production budget is, so like $130 million for One Battle After Another, divide that by 2, cut it by 50%, so about $65 million, add that back onto the overall budget because that's about how much they're going to spend on marketing. So when you take that into account, One Battle After Another costs overall about $200 million, only taking home about $122 million. So when you see the $130 million budget, see $200 million at the box office, you think, okay, it made money. No, it actually lost about $80 million. Studios like Disney and Marvel, for their big projects, they'll easily spend $100 to $200, sometimes $300 million on marketing alone. Again, this isn't really our issue. We don't really need to be concerned about this. That's all for the accountants at Warner Brothers and Paramount, but it's still interesting to get an insight too, because I think sometimes people get confused when they see a budget for a movie, they see the box office and think, oh, this movie was very successful, but that doesn't tell the whole story.